What is going on, YouTube? This is MotoSarge signing in, and today we are bringing the very first test ride video to the channel. I'm heading down to Fort Benning Harley Davidson here in Columbus, Georgia, linking up with my buddy Rev, and he's going to allow me to test ride a pre-owned 2019 Harley Davidson FXDR. So let's roll that intro and get on with today's video.
Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, work up, and let's go to work. Hard work, hard work.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm here at Fort Benning Harley Davidson with Rev, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 FXDR.
Yeah, so this is the 2019 FXDR 114. That is the new Milwaukee 8 engine, and that translated over to cc's, you're looking at 1868 cc's of beautiful raw power here. Right below me we have actual forward controls down here, so it's not mids. You have some nice chill, cruising, relaxing, but getting your speed on. Of course, I mean getting your safe speed on.
Yeah, we gotta throw that in there.
We're always safe. Speed on.
Right.
A couple other little things about this. We're looking at a 4.4 tank, so you're looking roughly probably about 150 miles in that tank before you're filling up. Something about this, yes, it is a solo seating bike. This seat's also very comfortable, just FYI there. But if you're looking to add a passenger, this piece right here will just pop right off. So I just pull this, and now we can put the FXDR passenger pillion seat right here, and we are ready to rock. Now stock, we will need to add some passenger pegs. Typically these guys are built for solo riding, but hey, we all like to ride with somebody sometime, so easy, pop back on. Again, about this bike particularly, like I said, this has a couple aftermarket parts on it. So we have the pullback tees up here to bring it close to the body. We also have a stage 1 kit in this guy too. So we have our upgraded exhaust system. These are Two Brothers racing pipes. This is a 2-into-1, and I would love to actually crank this thing up for you if you can. I don't know how the sound quality will be, but I would love to let you hear it.
Yeah, we could try it out.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Deep, man. Yeah, it is.
So yeah, like I said, FXDR 114 2019. It's a beautiful bike. This color also, because I didn't mention that yet, this is Bonneville Salt Pearl. Of course, you'd have to see a lot of these bikes in person to do it justice. There you go, man.
Awesome.
2019 FXDR 114.
Appreciate it, Rev. I'm gonna go take it for a spin. Is that cool?
Absolutely, bro.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Hard work, work, work. We can win on out. Hard work, work. Go and do the job. Hard work, work.
Welcome to the first test ride video of the channel, guys. Kind of different. We're on a FXDR, 2019 FXDR, where Fort Benning has done a couple mods to it, so pretty excited to ride this thing. But Harley has done something nice to this thing with these T-bars, and they got exhaust on here, so I'm really excited to see what this thing will do on the open roads. Whew. This exhaust sounds nasty, guys. This bike is one heck of a, I don't know, I haven't ridden it that long, but just feels like muscle car. So Rev gave us the tech specs of this 2019 FXDR. I forget the color he called it. Really had no idea I was going to be test riding this bike today, so I'm glad he did the tech specs because I don't know too much about these. Now, these drag bars that they put on here definitely puts me in like a nice, comfortable, relaxed riding position. I'm not too far leaning forward. I'm not too far sitting back. It is a cruiser, so it does put you in that more upright position. But with it being with the forward controls and the drag bars being kind of down low still, it's kind of comfortable for this bike. This is going to be the route that we take, guys. I'm going to head out of Harley Davidson, come out here, hit I-185, open these bikes up a bit on the interstate, and then come back some back road. So that way I could give you guys, you know, a good rundown of the bike for different types of riding. Now, of course, on the interstate, we have real bad wind noise, so let's kick on some music and I'll catch up with you guys once we get off of this interstate. Oh, now I know why Blockhead liked this bike so much. Damn, that thing gets up in skirts. Smooth.
Carry
my goodness, guys, does this 114 pack a punch? This bike would be fun as all heck to get out and just let it eat. Gosh dang. If I wasn't recording a video for Fort Benning Harley Davidson, I might do some irresponsible things on this bike, that's for sure. Man, oh man, plenty of power. It just, as soon as you hit that throttle, so responsive, like tucks you back in the seat a little bit. Big old wide rear tire makes it a little bit difficult. I could see doing some cornering, so probably not meant for that. Hopefully you guys are picking up this audio because we're still on the interstate, but I just couldn't hold out anymore. This bike is so much fun to just open up. I'm enjoying it on the interstate though, which is surprising. I mean, maybe it's that little small fairing tuck down there, but I feel like as far as, you know, me getting beat up by the wind, it's not that bad. It wouldn't be unbearable if you wanted to go out and ride some long miles with this thing. Wouldn't be like my #1 choice, but you could definitely do it if you wanted to get out there and battle the wind a little bit. Not too bad. As you guys could tell, you know, when we're on the interstate, Mike kind of struggles a bit with the GoPro and the audio, but that's why normally I don't do any videos too much on the interstate. Going too fast, guys, going too fast. Within safe speed limits, of course. So I'm gonna head on right over here off River Road, capture the thumbnail at the lake, and we'll go ride through some city. But this is gonna be, you know, the stop. Hopefully I could stop here every time with these bikes that I'm test riding from Fort Benning to capture, you know, the same backdrop for every bike. But who knows? I don't know what days I'll be able to get out here and test ride and how busy this place would be to just snap a few shots. Normally it's pretty quiet down here at the lake, so we'll see. I'll catch up with you guys after I get done taking the thumbnail. All right, there we go. Thumbnail captured. I really enjoy coming down to this lake. Just gorgeous. Taking photographs, or just, you know, I work right up the street, so sometimes just to get away from work for a bit, come down here and let the mind just get back to normal is always nice. But so I guess that's enough having fun, guys. So let's talk about the bike. So as far as, you know, my pros and cons, let's go ahead and go over my 3 pros and 3 cons about this bike, and then we'll kind of share a little bit about what I would do to it. Not much, but it's definitely a fun bike as far as power goes. Smooth power. The transmission shifts very easily through all 6 gears. Super nice as far as performance wise. And I think that's why Harley created this bike, was for a performance Harley Davidson. And I think this one, to me, looks better than the old V-Rod, in my opinion. I do like the FXDR, the look to it. I can't, I think I gotta go to the doctor, guys. I have an issue with my wrist. It's wanting to go wide open all the time. I gotta go get it checked out. I think it might be broken. I don't know. Maybe do I get away with blaming my wrist? It's not me, guys. It's my hand. It's doing what it wants. That's a sick looking truck over there. That is nice. But another pro to this bike is the sound. And yes, this does have an aftermarket exhaust. I do believe it has the TBR 2-in-1, so the exhaust sounds amazing. Now what this bike would sound like stock, I'm not too sure. I haven't ridden one stock, but this is, you know, it is a pre-owned bike at Fort Benning Harley Davidson, and they went ahead and did some aftermarket things, so it kind of cuts costs a little bit for someone looking at buying a motorcycle. The TBR exhaust makes this thing just open up, so that would be a pro. Now it is a pro for this bike. Now compared to a stock bike, maybe I'll give you an additional pro to the motorcycle. The seat looks like something that's gonna be crazy uncomfortable and hard. It is a solo seat. It does have somewhat of lumbar support in the back, so as I'm hitting the throttle on the interstate, it's holding me into position. I thought it being a solo seat, I'd go slipping off the tail end of this thing, and if you guys could see it in pictures or over the walkthrough, there's not much of a rear fender, so I ain't trying to get, you know, myself stuck between the rear fender and the tire. But this seat locks you in position, so I'd say Harley Davidson did a good job with this solo seat. It definitely holds you in, and it has the ability to get a 2-up seat on there, so that is nice. You know, I mean, having that ability where if you want to throw a passenger on here, which I don't know why you would, because every time I got on this thing I would just want to rip, and you guys know I ride with my kids, so there would be no real ripping on this bike with them on the back. But you could do it if you wanted to. Now, a few cons of this motorcycle. I would say the width of the rear tire looks great, but this bike, in my opinion, is set up to go really, really fast in a straight line. If you're wanting to get out there in the twisties or run some mountain roads and stuff, you'll be able to do it. But as you can see, just weaving back and forth here is taking a little bit more effort than normal, and then it just doesn't feel like that's what this bike was meant for. But if you're looking for something to just get out there and rip around, which this is why this bike was built, then might be a bike for you. It just goes, like it just wants to go, and that is incredibly fun. I would get so many dang speeding tickets on this bike, so I'm glad it's not in my garage. But one more con, and I have a hard time doing this, you know, because I see what the bike is meant for, so it's hard for me to pick out some cons for this FXDR. But I feel like it's good because you might not think of it if you're looking at buying it. The other con to this thing would be the gauge. I like, you know, analog, I think it's called, rather than digital gauges, but that's just my personal preference. So for me, that would be a con, because it is a digital gauge tucked in behind that kind of like cowl fairing there, and it's kind of hidden, but it is far enough outside of you so you could still see it. It is, you know, visible in daylight hours, which is nice. It's bright enough, but it's just, I'm not a big fan of that. But, you know, looking at the bike, where else would you put it? I don't know. But also too, you know, your gas light and all the other indicator lights down at the bottom, you have to lean forward to kind of see them. Enough cons. This bike is a lot of fun to ride, man. Like, really enjoy it. Like, super fun. Forward controls are nice. The air intake, the exhaust that Fort Benning put on this thing, what they did to this thing with the drag bars and the exhaust and the air intake, it sounds good, it runs good. Not the best handling bike, but this bike is meant to just rip in a straight line, in my opinion. So yeah, kind of cool. Now about this bike, it's kind of going to be hard for me to do some what would I do to this bike, right? Because Fort Benning already did drag bars, they already did exhaust, they already did intake. So looking at ways to mod this thing out a bit is hard for me, because this thing already has an incredible amount of power. I can't do that enough. I got to be careful though. I'm about to run out of gas. I don't know the size of this tank, but it still will get about 140, 150 miles like I mentioned earlier, so I should be all right. It says 22 miles left. We're right up the street from Harley Davidson. I think I could push it the rest of the way. So if I were to buy this bike, right, bone stock, we'll just go with bone stock. What would I do to the FXDR? Definitely would do a set of drag bars similar to what's on here. May go a little bit higher, just so I'm not leaning as far forward and I don't feel like my hands are kind of on top of my knees. But with the forward controls, I'm definitely in a real comfortable riding position. I can stand flat foot at 5 foot 10 inches, so the bike isn't gonna be like over cumbersome. It's not, you know, it is heavier, but it's not too heavy. But definitely would do a set of drag bars if I were to buy something like this bone stock, maybe a little bit higher. But another mod I would do to this thing that's already on this one but isn't on a stock one would be a 2-into-1 exhaust. I just think opening up a Harley Davidson is one of the first things that I would do to any bike that I buy. That's just my preference. You know, a lot of people like acquire to ride. I'm not one of them. I want this thing to be as loud as possible as I come ripping down the road, so people could hear me coming before they see me coming. And third, as far as one last mod, maybe a new seat, but not too sure. This seat's pretty comfortable. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that test ride video. We're back here at Fort Benning Harley Davidson. Overall, my impressions, you know, first impressions of course, because we didn't ride too long, of this bike is it's a fun bike to ride. Like, definitely a fun bike to ride. So if you guys liked today's video, be sure to click that like icon. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button right here. And if you'd rather stick around and watch a few more of my videos, I'll throw up a video here and here. Like always guys, I really appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in to another video, and this is MotoSarge signing out.